Today's episode is brought to you by the StarDraft. Do you feel like you always know the Oscar nominees before they're announced? Or just wish that you could share in a little bit of Emma Stone's Oscar glory?
Well, now you can experience awards season like never before. Sign up today or create or join a league at www.thestardraft.com. And thank you to StarDraft for their support.
You are now listening to Take Two Podcast. All your latest TV and movie reviews, plus your Hollywood news, and of course, our Take Two. Here we go.
Episode 222, coming at you for Take Two Podcast. This is Brian, joined by Tony. Folks, the show is dedicated to Eric, Brian, and Howie this week. And I just want to start off with something. If you ever need to talk, 1-800-273-8255. That is a number that you can call. You can talk about anything you want on that hotline. It is 1-800-273-TALK, T-A-L-K, or 8255. Check the show notes. I'll put it in there. If you're going through some shit, some things are bad, life gets every one of us down, or if you just need to chat, feel free to call that hotline at any time and vent your life away. Okay, we have a good show for you guys. My name is Brian, and Tony is my co-host. Buddy, what's up?
What's going on? Yeah, just to reiterate what you said there, and personally shouting out to those men as well, and anybody who listens to the show that are personal friends of ours. Both of our phones are also open for you if you need us. And yeah, it's been a tough week for us personally and for the world, So, but we're going to try and power through and just keep doing what we do and hope that we can serve as a distraction for you guys and hope you get some laughs out of us and whatnot in the next hour or so.
Happy birthday to you, sir. How did it go?
Thank you. Thank you.
I know your off the field stuff was nasty, but how about at home with the family?
Yeah, well, I was able to salvage a dinner of my choosing and a little birthday cake, so at least that helped, and just some snuggle time with the kids and the dog and whatnot, and the wife, and she felt bad because her plans kind of fell through. That she had grander ideas for my celebration, but it didn't quite happen. So we'll do it eventually,
What was the dinner of choice? What do you go to there?
Well, I wanted Mexican. I love Mexican food, so I got some good tacos from a local place here and a margarita and whatnot. And like I said, I got a Cold Stone ice cream cake, so that was good. Yeah.
Nice little Tony Taco Tony. I like it.
I was actually welcomed that morning when I got home with some donuts as well. So yeah, it was all about Fat Man Day. I had I had my favorite things. I had coffee, I had donuts, I had beer, I had ice cream. Like, those are my favorite things. If you haven't seen me, you would know that. And yeah, so it was definitely my kind of day.
Now that you're 40 and your metabolism stops working, why not? Pack it on. Let's go.
Sure.
That's a sore subject, man. My parents have always done that. Like, whatever your favorite food is, they would always make that meal. And like, my brother is very simple, burger and fries, so it'd be easy. My sister would do steaks on the grill. My favorite food is a bushel of crabs. But that's
Merlin guy, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But it never, like, my dad's from the mountains of Pennsylvania. That's not his thing. He's not into it. And my mom, and we also grew up with not a ton of cash. So I never got that growing up. I'd always have to, like, pick something else. It was always like bullcorn. I was like, all right, I guess I don't get my favorite food while everyone else does.
Here's some crab flavored chips from Hershey's.
Yeah, little crab chips. So for a few years, out of spite, I picked meatloaf. And my dad's like, did you really want meatloaf? And I was like, yeah. And just out of spite. And this is also the dead of August, too, by the way. So we had meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Oh, that was a bad choice. And I thought I was being a jerk. I guess I was, but I had to suffer too. All right, let's get on to our Hollywood show. What do you say?
Sure. I was going to actually just one more quick little thing. My son this year did something like that, and his choice was Thanksgiving dinner. But his birthday's in August, so he called it Maxgiving. And we made like an entire like Thanksgiving spread for him, Maxgiving. So
nice, I like it. Folks, 434-602-1931. On your birthday, what is your meal of choice? What are you choosing there? What are you having the spouse make for you, or the kids come up with? I'd love to hear everybody's choices. Don't forget, we're on Twitter at Take Two Podcast, Take2Podcast at gmail.com. You can shoot us an email, and of course Facebook and Instagram. Join those. On Facebook you get two options. You have the regular Facebook page, Take Two Podcast, but then Take Two Universe, that's our group page, where we put a lot of fun stuff up there. It's interactive, and you folks yourselves can post things on there and chit chat amongst each other and with us. And we have a lot of fun over there. Today, we've got reviews for you. We've got the history of swear words. We've got Pieces of a Woman. Tony has Minari. And then we got a couple of mini reviews a little later on down the show that I think you guys are going to enjoy. Bunch of casting, bunch of Hollywood news, and a ton of fun along the way. You ready to rock, man?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting episode because the last couple have been a little heavier on the reviews, light on the news, but I think the news came back in a big way this week, so we'll have lots of stuff to discuss.
Before we get going, okay, don't forget patreon.com. As low as $1 a month, you get bonus content. You're going to have an episode coming out this week. You're going to enjoy a lot of stuff, at least 2 shows per month for as low as $1. Vaughn, Kevin, Roy, Craig, Lisa, Katz, Chris, Ryan, and Vaughn again. I'm saying Vaughn again because he told me this week that one time I forgot to shout out the patrons.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It was like 2 months ago, and I was like, "You're holding this grudge hardcore." And I said,
"We need to make like a drop. We need to make a drop that just says Vaughn, like really loud and strong, and just play it every episode." So
only as long as Kevin, Katz, Chris, Ryan, Lisa, Craig, and Roy then get mad and want their own drops too. All right, every week on Thursday, you get a brand new poll that Tony comes up with, and you get to vote on it, debate it, and get all into it. And it dropped last week. Tell us, sir, what are those poll results?
And now, turn your attention to the podcast for the poll results.
Well, and when I put this poll up this week, I did not think it would be so prescient, I guess. We'll talk about that when we get to the Hollywood news. But I was just kind of looking ahead, man. Like, spring is in our future. I wanted to spread some positivity, think ahead. Like, maybe we'll be going back to the movies soon. So what movies that were supposed to get released in 2020 that moved to 21 spring are you most excited for? So I gave the options of Black Widow, Bond, Quiet Place 2, and Fast 9. If you remember, Black Widow's moved a couple times, Bond's moved a couple times. Quiet Place pretty much moved once, and Fast 9 was like ahead of the curve and said, nah, we'll see you next year. But those were the choices I gave. I feel like those are kind of the big releases that are coming between March and May, I guess. So yeah, we got a decent little response here, and the winner was Bond. I think that's no surprise there, 37%. Black Widow, close second, 31%. Quiet Place 2 is 17%. Fast 9 with 14%. A couple other shout-outs we had. Chris also shouted out Black Widow, and we got a new follower on the Insta, Quick and Dirty Romance. They shouted out Quiet Place 2, so we welcome them as a new follower and their shout out. And then on Twitter, Drunk Dish said Halloween Kills. And I said, of course, we're looking forward to that, but this was limited to spring only. So maybe at some point I will have Halloween Kills as a poll option, but right now that was not an option. But thank you for your feedback. And then also Katz hit us up on the Instagram. He said, if anyone says anything other than Black Widow, they are wrong. And I said, hi, my name's Tony. I'm wrong. And he said, I guess you want to watch Daniel do the same thing he's done for the past 3 films, which I guess is slight towards the Bond movies, which you were taken aback by, I think, at that comment.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I said Quiet Place 2, personally, because I had tickets to see that. I was really already amped up to see it, and then the world shut down. So that's kind of the one I'm most looking forward to. What about you? Probably Bond?
Yeah. Well, my answer was Quiet Place, but I changed it back to Bond because of Katz and his dirty thinking there.
There you go.
I would like to discuss what he's talking about because I actually feel that Craig has had a solid arc as a James Bond as opposed to previous Bonds where they do kind of the same regurgitated script and storyline. These 4 films that he's done has actually followed a whole, thing. That's a different topic for a different day. So
Sure. And like I said, we'll get into some possible delays and such when we get to the news later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, again, guys, jump on the socials. All of the socials all the way across the board. They drop on Thursday. You can vote there. You can share them so that your friends can vote as well. Tell your friends, hey, follow us as well on all of them. And don't forget, they go through the weekend. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you have 4 days worth of voting that you get to jump on there. If you are ready, sir, let's start off with some movie reviews.
Yeah. I think the big release of the week that a lot of people were talking about was Pieces of a Woman on Netflix. What did you think?
Okay, let's start with the film. It's a tough watch. It's not a movie. I mean, the opening 30 minutes, right? I think it's the first 28 minutes technically.
20-something, yeah.
Is just intense. It's just intense. And if anybody out there has had a baby or watched a baby be born, like I feel you could relate for what's happening, except their decision it's a home birth. So it made it even more intense. Obviously, she's not having the drugs or anything to help her out. So all of that is just like, holy cow, this is really wild to watch. For me, the rest of the movie just kind of puts it into neutral. The characters I couldn't like, you know what I mean? They go through some shit. and they're not great people for the most part, top to bottom. So it was hard to then kind of root for these folks to come around. Shia, he did a great job of playing a character I wasn't a fan of. I can say that. Early on, actually, I thought he was cool. Like during the whole birth, giving birth to the baby, I was like, oh, wow, he's a really great dad. Like he's there for her. He's trying to help her out. Like he's doing a great job. But then his character definitely took a turn in a different direction. So the movie overall in general, not fun, not great to watch. It was but the performances, that's a different topic. How about you talk the movie first and then we'll dive into performances?
Okay. I'm a little maybe stronger on the film than you are.
Okay.
Yeah. Tough watch. It is hard to recommend it to anybody, especially if you're a woman who has had issues with pregnancies or things like that. I would not recommend watching this. This may be a really tough watch. I mean, it was tough for us, and we don't even have a vagina. So, yeah. But yeah, that first opening 20 minutes, it's all filmed as like a long one take too, which was even more impressive to me. That was what I took from it was I was impressed by the filmmaking aspect. This director, Cornel Mundcruzo, I'm probably butchering that name, but I didn't really even see any other films that I knew from them. And this is based on a play that was written by Kata Weber, who actually based it on her own personal experience as well. So, I mean, you can tell that they really do care for the source material and do a really good job presenting it. I agree with your assessment of Shia. We'll get into his performance a little bit later, as far as later in the film, and some things I have thoughts on. Mm-hmm. But again, like you said, it's all about the performances here. I disagree, though, on you saying you shifted into neutral and whatnot. I think Vanessa Kirby her character goes through the different stages of grief throughout the film. And I think she does a hell of a job with it. And I don't know, I really did enjoy her role. I did kind of root for her. I did not for Shia, and we'll get into that, how his role kind of changes throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much everyone else in the movie isn't really great either. But I think Vanessa Kirby, I really felt for her and liked following her journey and the arc that she took. So I think that's maybe why I ended up a little higher on the movie than you.
Okay. Yeah. So I lead that right into the performances. Vanessa Kirby, boom, Oscar nom at the very least, done. Golden Globe nom, done.
Yeah. I've seen people saying she's a lock for Best Actress, but she's never been nominated before, folks. That's very rare. So I think the nomination is the win in this case, and it's going to be hard for her to beat some of the other people out there. Like I've seen a lot of people talking Viola, possibly from Ma Rainey, or even you got Frances McDormand out there. Like there's a lot of big time actresses that are going to be up for this award this year. So she'll definitely be there, but I don't think it's an automatic win by any means.
Yeah, I to say it's a lock would be a little silly at this point because it's going to be a loaded field. It's going to be loaded. There's plenty of names in there. They're already talking snubs. Like we've got so many great performances. Like get ready for someone you're going to be mad about for being snubbed. I don't think she will be though, because I agree with you. Even after the tragedy with the childbirth and everything, and then going through, she does arc, and you're absolutely right. And there are parts of her in that arc that I wasn't liking. Maybe that's what I meant by that. But
yeah, but I think it was a good representation, like I said, of the stages of grief. I feel like they did a good job of that without kind of beating you over the head with it. However, some of the stuff, this is my biggest issue with the movie, is the screenplay. Some of the stuff is very like on the nosy, I guess, about what they're doing. Like I'll just say apple seeds, for example. Without giving too much away. That I thought that was a little like, okay, a little too much. It made me eye roll a little bit.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid. I want to stick with the goods and Ellen Burstyn. Holy crap.
Yeah. That's a perfect Oscar reel, right? Like that one scene that she gets that's really strong. That's the one that you're going to play. And people are going to be like, oh yeah, give her the award. So we'll see what happens, day of, but let me just side note on that. She won an Oscar already in 1975, right?
Okay.
And then she was nominated again in 2001.
Okay.
So they're saying if she gets nominated at the very least, she'll break a record for the first actor to have 2 20-year gaps in nominations, which is impressive.
That's crazy.
And then if she wins, also she'll now be the oldest, or I guess just nomination period. She'll be the oldest ever nominated, 88 years old, beating Christopher Plummer by just a couple months, and Gloria Stewart. She was 87. Yeah. So yeah, she'll be the oldest, and she'll have the most 20-year gaps in nominations. That's kind of wild.
And to the folks concerned, because I saw a little bit of backlash, wrong word, but where it's like, oh, she's not in it very much. She only has that one monologue. People have won for less. We'll just go with that.
Sure. Yeah. What was it? Judi Dench was on screen for less.
Right.
Shit, even Anthony Hopkins, when he won for Silence of the Lambs, was like 15 minutes on screen or something. And I think people, forget how little he was in the movie. So it could happen for sure. I don't know if it's a lock personally, because again, like you said, the lead actors field is going to be like really stacked. I think we may see some kind of category fraud and see some people shoved into supporting that maybe don't need to be supporting, one of those kind of things. But yeah, both great performances. Do you want to get into Shia next?
Yeah, first off, Shia, manscaped.com. All right, pal.
or get like a longer shirt next time so we don't just see that little hoodwink there, if you will.
What the crap? Okay, we got it. I saw people debating if it was a rape scene. I felt it was a very rapey moment.
Yes. That was the first thing I wrote on my page watching that. And so I guess spoiler alert, there is a pretty heavy scene in here that I would consider, very rapey, marital rape, I guess, at best. Or are they, I was confused. Are they even married? I don't even think they are.
No.
I think they're just partners or whatever. But yeah, there's a scene where he's also going through stuff and he feels like he wants to, connect with his wife or partner or whatever. And it kind of does turn really creepy and into a rape scene, which, especially with the news coming out recently of him, that made it even worse to watch, I feel like.
Right. 100%.
And his role here too is just very similar to stuff that he's already gone through. He's dealing with addiction and things like that. So it's a very personal role, I'm sure, for him. Without that news coming out, maybe he would be in the race as well and talked about. But with that news coming out, I think that might hurt this movie's chances and maybe even hurt Kirby and Burston's chances.
Yeah, that's possible. Hope not. I'll be honest though, like I was saying, I liked him in the beginning. I was liking what he was doing as the supportive, spouse in that scenario. But then you're right, he just kind of like fell into his mold.
Well, he went through the grief just like she was, but he went into his old ways and his addictions and became almost abusive to her. Like we said, the rape scene. There's another scene where he is kind of rude to her and throws that exercise ball in her face.
With the cigarette.
And then he has just like, the scene where he's crying at the river or whatever. Like there's a lot of stuff that he's going through as well. But then he also goes off and does something that's also not good.
Sure.
So let's get into supporting a little bit. Eliza Schlesinger, good to see her, but she's barely in it. I wish she'd maybe been given a little bit more to do. But the big takeaway for me was Molly Parker. Molly Parker from House of Cards playing the midwife. She was amazing, I thought. And I would not argue one bit to see her in the supporting actress field.
Sure.
I was really impressed by her, and I was surprised more people weren't talking about her performance. As well as Sarah Snook. I thought Sarah Snook was good. I'm not familiar with her, really. I guess she's on Succession as their like family lawyer or whatever. She was good, and I'd like to see her do more. And then Benny Safdie was in there as the other brother, from the Safdie brothers.
Just some of the script was kind of, he's like...
something really heavy, that part.
Yeah, it's like time heals all... And then Shine's like, whoa.
Real heavy, dude, yeah. Yeah, like I said, that was my biggest takeaway. I think that knocked me down like a half point was some of the script. Some of the screenplay I just didn't really like. A basic problem I had with the movie is it's supposed to be Boston, and no one sounds like they're from Boston, and actually it doesn't look like Boston. It looks like Eastern Europe to me. And I looked it up, and they did film in like parts of Europe for this. And I'm like, well, why do that? Why base it in Boston but make it look like European? I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah, no, I agree with you, because at one point they mentioned New England, and that I guess was the clue. But then you're right, there was no Boston accents, not a lot of. You would expect like Shia to have like a Bruins shirt on at some point, something dumb.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, no accents. I guess they filmed it in like Montreal and then partly in Europe or whatever. So yeah, like things like that, and then like I said, just the screenplay like on the nose, and like I like the way that they were showing the bridge and like the passage of time, but I also it was just too on the nose of like, oh, this is what they're going through. You know what I mean? Like the building of the bridge and the visuals were just too much. Like, okay, I get it.
How much do you think contractors watch that and are like, well, you ain't gonna get that much done in that time?
No way. Yeah.
That was a month. You can't build that in January. You're not building that much bridge. No, I'm gonna watch this again, because currently, as most of you guys know, my wife is 8.5 months pregnant. And after watching it, I immediately texted her and said, do not watch this movie. But I know she's going to want to once our child is born. Right? If she watches it right now, she won't be able to handle anything. So I told her, don't watch it. We'll tell you why later. But she, like us, likes to try and watch all the nominated what have yous, and
Sure.
Vanessa's going to get nominated, so we're going to watch it. So I know for a fact I'm going to watch this again one more time, and I'm hoping that it comes better as a film for me. But to me, it was just very performance driven in a good
Yeah.
way, and I
Sure,
really
sure.
enjoyed especially Burston. I think Burston was the biggest surprise. Where I was like, wow, that was fantastic. That was like a
Okay.
really awesome scene, you know.
Yeah. See, I was stronger on Kirby, and I definitely think she deserves the nomination. I wouldn't argue if she won, but
Sure.
she really impressed me because I really hadn't seen her in much besides Hobbs and Shaw or something. I mean, so for her to give this performance, and she has a great scene near the end too. That's
Yeah.
moving in its own right, and so I was most impressed by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I go 3.5 out of 5 on this movie. Like I said, I could go 4 if the screenplay script wasn't so like to me certain moments, but it's a good movie. I think that's where the potential ends, though. I don't think this should be like Best Picture nomination or anything like that. I think you'll just get the nominations for the acting performances, and that's it. And then it'll kind of fall by the wayside.
Both Tony and I are on Letterboxd. You guys can find us and watch our reviews on there. They're not really show associated. They're just kind of our personal ones, and we talk about them here anyway. I was gonna rate it on Letterboxd, but I was one of the millions of people that also immediately Googled, has Vanessa Kirby had a baby? As soon as I was done watching. And the answer is no. So that should boost that performance even more so, which it did for me. I was like, holy God, that's fantastic.
And like I said, we're two dudes here talking about this, but I think for my money, it seems like a very honest portrayal of somebody going through what this woman goes through. And I give all that credit to her performance. So watch it if you want to see that. It is a tough watch. It's not for everybody.
Two dudes. Okay, you watch something without me. Shocker. That never happens. Minari, but I know nothing about this. I still don't. I meant to even look and just kind of familiarize myself with a plot line or anything. So I'm hearing this fresh just like you are, kids.
Okay. So Minari has been on my radar for months, and it's been one that I've really wanted to see. I've tried to track it down, again, just like Nomadland. It was like at the different festivals and screenings and stuff, and I just kept missing out on it. Now it's been very popular. So this is directed by Lee Isaac Chung. It is actually an American production, but it's from A24, but it is mostly in Korean. So it is like a foreign language film, but I think it I don't think it can be considered a foreign language film because it's an American production. So therein lies the problem with it, where I don't know that it's going to get as much Oscar love and whatnot as it should. Because this film really should be nominated for Best Picture. I'm going to throw it out there. I think this was a great movie. It's heartwarming. It was a fun watch, in parts funny, in parts heartbreaking, but I loved it. I thought the characters were well formed. I thought the performances were amazing. So anyways, let me just give you a backstory on it since you're not familiar with the film. It is apparently semi-autobiographical, written by the director as well. So based in his own experiences about immigrating to America from South Korea. It takes place in rural America in the 80s. I believe it's Arkansas that the family moves to. So Korean family who moves to Arkansas. And then, in the 80s, you can imagine that's very fish out of watery. But at the end of the day, this is just a story about the American dream. And I think that's what made me feel so good about it, is seeing how much these people wanted to come here and make a life and be successful. And I think the story works so well in a way where it goes places you don't expect it to. Like, it very much could have been just a tropey, predictable movie, but I think it zigged and zagged a little bit where I didn't think it was going to. And I really appreciated that. So it stars Stephen Ewan, who is mostly known for Glenn on The Walking Dead, giving a fantastic dramatic performance here. He's really good. Will Patton is in here. That's the only other person that maybe most American audiences would recognize. He also gives a really good performance. Sadly, I don't know if either of them will really be nominated or anything. I would argue Stephen Ewan should, but I think he might be on the outside looking in on the top 5, because again, that's a stacked performances of leading males this year with Anthony Hopkins and Chadwick Boseman and Riz Ahmed and all these guys. So I don't think he'll make the cut, which sucks because this is a really good movie with great performances. There's a woman who plays the grandma in here, Yoon Yoo Jung. She's fantastic. There's a good kid performance in here. I love those in a movie. So it's just a fantastic movie. It felt good watching it. It's beautifully shot. And like I said, just the story wasn't what I expected. And especially for it to be an American movie, but all in Korean, pretty much. It was just strange. It reminded me of, I guess, The Farewell from last year, which also got pretty much snubbed and overlooked because it was the same kind of thing. It was like an American production that was half in, Mandarin. So a lot of people overlooked it and didn't know where to put it. Does it fall in foreign language? No, because okay, well, sorry, I guess it's not going to get nominated. So that's a shame. I think both of those movies are fantastic. This one is hitting theaters in February. So it had its premiere last January at Sundance, and then it's been playing at various film festivals and whatnot through the year. It actually got like a limited theatrical release already here, but it's going to get a wide release in February. So you can find it on like virtual screenings and stuff like that right now, but it's not going to get its wide release for a couple more weeks. But I highly recommend tracking it down. It would definitely be in my Best Picture nominees if I were the one voting on it. So
high praise. High praise.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I think you would like it. Again, just like last year with Parasite, if you get over reading some words on the screen, this is a damn good movie.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, and then you and I were going to wrap up our reviews with a little history lesson here, kids. We're going a little back in time. 6 episodes available now. Fuck, shit, bitch, dick, pussy, and damn. That just got us our explicit rating for this episode, pal. This will be your history of swear words, hosted by
Nick Cage, baby. Yes. I was pumped for this. I was pumped for this when I heard this was coming out, and this was fun. At the end of the day, it was just fun. 6 episodes, 20 minutes each, and honestly, it was interesting that they did take the opportunity to kind of teach you some things. Like they got into the history of the words themselves, which I thought was kind of fun. Sure. And it's just Nick Cage pops in and out. He's hosting it, and then there's a bunch of other comedians that pop in, Nick Offerman, Nikki Glaser, Sarah Silverman, Jim Jeffries, those kind of people. So in a way, it's like a little bit of a advertisement for Netflix's comedy stuff, overall, using clips from some of their stand-ups and things like that. But overall, I had fun with it. It was good. They even had like little culture and language experts kind of talking about it. And I think it was better than I expected, And like I said, I learned something. I laughed. I enjoyed the hell out of Nick Cage. I would watch more of this in a heartbeat. What about you?
We're gonna differ on that. I enjoyed it. I don't.
You don't love the Cage as much as I do. That's why.
I don't know. I love the Cage. I thought he was good. He played the over the topness perfectly. He did a good job. I loved his whole bit about, how did we get to Dick? Why wasn't it Nick?
Yeah,
it could be, and it did a whole shtick on, what if it was Nick this whole time, and my name could have been associated with that. And, I guess the off-putting thing to me was the comedians that they interspersed in there, especially them telling us, why do we have to be swear words? Why can't we just use them? And people are better if you use swear words. No, I kind of disagree with that mentality. So I wasn't needing comedians to tell me that we'd be better people if we used more swear words. The history of it, I actually really liked all that. I loved having the linguists on there and the people telling us the actual history of how we got around to swear words, they came to that part. I really enjoyed. I could watch more of some of that, depending on each one and how some of them had wrong reasons for why that we thought, we had different swear words, where they came from and whatnot. So, yeah, it was fun. It was different. I didn't know what to expect with 6 episodes, and expecting them just to take one word at a time and just break them all down. That was funny. They started with the heavy one and then kind of like worked their way down the list. It was funny once they then got to damn. And even some of the comedians were like, wait, that's a swear word? And I was like, yes, technically it is. It is the only swear word in the Bible, things like that. So I found that part interesting. I did enjoy all of that kind of stuff, and it was good. And some of the comedians were funny. So to that, though, they had some voiceover because they had a little animation throughout and to help move things along. So like Offerman did a bunch of the voices in there. Some of the other comedians did a couple of extra voices. Even Nick Cage himself did some of the voices, I noticed.
Yeah. No, it was fun. 20-minute kind of real quick, easy to watch, digestible, whatever. This is like what Quibi should have been. That's what I was thinking when I was watching this. And I knew right away I was going to like it when Nick Cage opened up with the "fuck it, we'll do it live." Like that was part of his. I was like, yes, he did that. And I'm an avid swearer. If you know me, I swear a lot. So I disagree with you. I think people should swear more, and I have no problem with these words being prohibited and whatnot. But yeah, some of the history things I wrote down that I thought were fun. The first episode, John LaFucker, I thought that was hilarious. Like, that's actually a person that existed. Is that real?
It must be, I guess.
I thought it was cool with bringing Isaiah Whitlock in the second episode where he was doing the shit that he's most known for. Yeah.
He said it for almost an hour.
I can do it too. You want me to do it?
See, I have trouble reading through my notes, so I can't hit those lengthy notes like most actors can. So if you
Yeah.
can, if you can, yeah, see if you can break his record.
Maybe another time. We'll do that as just a special Patreon drop.
There you go.
Looking at, Lucille Brogan. I didn't know anything, or Lucille Bogan, whatever, from the 20s and 30s. This jazz artist who was singing about bitch and all that stuff and
yeah.
pussy. And,
Yeah, suck my this and I'll suck your this.
Yeah. The Barrison sisters also, same kind of thing. Like these old timey artists who were talking about pussy and stuff. Like, I thought that was really interesting to see, like you said, the history, the etymology of the words,
Sure.
and things that I didn't know. And then they just talked about kind of a couple of the words, the reclamation of it, and they had sexual slur connotations, but then women have kind of taken them back and empowered them and things like that. It was very interesting for sure. Talking about the Hays Code, with Gone with the Wind, how they were able to say damn, and how big of a deal that was, and then even just bringing it to modern day with like Kendrick Lamar won a Pulitzer named Damn, his album named Damn. So
yeah,
I liked how they did that, how they brought everything full circle. So I think I definitely enjoyed it more than you, and I would highly recommend it to everybody.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
Some more heavy promotion of themselves. Netflix did their best of 2020 comedians.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually kind of lengthy. It's closer to like $1.40 if I'm remembering. I forgot to write it down. Might be an hour and a half. Either way, this is nothing but 2, maybe 3-minute clips of every comedian they had a stand-up special on in 2020. Okay. So we've kind of reviewed almost every, like as they're going through, I'm like, all right, we reviewed that on the show. We reviewed that guy on the show. And it's Jim Jeffries and Glazer and Kreischer or Kreischer, excuse me. It has pretty much all of them. Kevin Hart. So any stand-up that you guys watch this year, they just give you a 2 to 3 minute clip. It's funny because they essentially take their best joke from their set and put them in there. So there's some good laughs in there, and there's a couple in there I hadn't seen. But for the most part, we saw them all, and it was good. It was kind of a little refreshing. So if you want an hour and 20 minutes of a decent chuckle, go check it out. I have a feeling most of you have already seen them, but either way, it's not bad. You get a little good laugh out of it.
I mean, it's a smart move by them. They really have started to try and grow that Netflix as a joke or whatever, like as its own thing, its own like Twitter feed, and I think website you can go to and all that stuff. And they've definitely stepped it up with the stand-up, especially this year, like being able to release a lot of that stuff where we didn't get a lot of new releases otherwise. So smart move by them, I guess.
All right, folks, let's jump onto the casting couch.
Welcome to the Take Two Casting Couch. Sit back and get comfortable. Oh, yeah.
Lots of casting this week. That was one of the big news items, I think, was casting.
Sure.
Will Smith cast as Nicky Barnes in the Netflix crime drama The Council.
Ooh.
I like that. I think that'll be good. See him in kind of a devious role there. You don't really see Will Smith do enough of that, so that'll be good. Clancy Brown is back for the Dexter revival as our villain. Huge pull. I like that very much.
Nice.
We loved Noma Dumezweni, however you say it, from Undoing earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
She has been cast in the Little Mermaid live-action remake for Disney in a new role. They're giving her an entire new role, so...
Oh.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Is she the lawyer for, like, signing Ariel's legs away?
Maybe.
It's just there where they do the contract?
All right. There's been some speculation about casting on this one. Nothing 100% yet, but let's talk about this. Robert Downey Jr. Earlier this week, there was a lot of speculation about him being in Star Wars, whatever. Then as the week went on, it was kind of narrowed down to being on The Mandalorian and possibly being Thrawn Obviously, this is a rumor, speculation at this point, nothing official, but just wanted to get your take on that. I even saw some fan, artwork or whatever, what he would look like as Thrawn. What do you think about this?
I didn't see the artwork we talked about earlier. My initial is no thanks. I like Downey Jr. I like Star Wars. Find a role for him. That's not who I picture as Thrawn. Not even a little bit. I don't know. I'm just not liking that casting.
Yeah, I agree. Not a big fan of it at all, and I don't understand why they don't just get the actor who did the voice for Rebels, to be honest, because I think he would be good.
Okay.
His name's Lars Mikkelsen. I think he's actually related to Mads Mikkelsen.
I was going to ask. Okay.
Yeah. I would just say give him the role. I mean, he already did it, just like they did with Bo-Katan, with Katie Sackhoff. She did the voice.
Sure.
Why not do that? So, yeah, I don't like RDJ. If you want to put him in Star Wars, fine, but I just don't think this is the role for him. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Raven Goodwin, who you may recognize as she was on Good Luck Charlie. She played Ivy on Good Luck Charlie. She has been cast as Hattie McDaniel in a new film called Behind the Smile. So this, it's good that we're getting a backstory on Hattie McDaniel, the first black actress to win an Oscar here. But it is kind of like an independent film, so I don't know how big it's going to be or, whatnot. Do you recognize her from that show? I was trying to think. I guess I remember her on that show.
From Good Luck Charlie. I can't. I'm trying very hard because we watched that religiously.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, it is an interesting story, and I think it could end up being a good movie. And who knows? Maybe we'll be talking about it like for Oscars or something in the future.
Gotcha.
All right. Law and Order SVU. Did you see this?
Negative.
This is cool. They are actually going out of their way this season to cast out-of-work Broadway actors on their show.
Whoa, cool.
So huge props to them. I guess they have a few episodes dropping that they've already cast or already filmed with like the lead from Beetlejuice. The guy that plays Beetlejuice is going to be in there. Some people from like Hadestown. Some of these shows, big shows that have been playing right now on Broadway and recent Tony winners and whatnot. All these people are out of work right now. So they're going ahead and trying to get them and give them some preference, which I think is cool.
They get like an entire ensemble cast to play like all the bodies in a morgue.
And just start singing.
Yeah.
All the bodies start singing.
Guys, you're dead. Please. Oh, sorry.
All right, this one's an interesting one. Brendan Fraser has been cast in The Whale, which is the new film by Darren Aronofsky. This is going to be for A24. Darren Aronofsky makes weird movies. So this is based on a play, and Brendan Fraser is going to be playing a 600-pound man who has a eating disorder and is basically eating himself to death. So,
Wowzers.
I'm kind of here for this because I like Brendan Fraser. I'm hoping he gets more work. We don't see him enough anymore. So, and I like Darren Aronofsky stuff for the most part. He's one of those guys where I love it or hate it,
and Fraser, politely, he has put on some weight, so
he's good for the role.
I guess, sure.
All right. Lastly for me, I don't really like this. Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem have been cast as Lucy and Desi for the Aaron Sorkin directed film Being the Ricardos, and this is going to Amazon.
Yeah, I got a star next to this one myself. What? I
don't like it at all, man. What happened to, we talked about a few weeks ago, what's her name? Cate Blanchett possibly being up for the role. I like that better. I think even Jessica Chastain, maybe somebody like that. I just don't like this at all. Nothing against Nicole Kidman. I like her. I just don't see her as Lucy, nor do I see Javier Bardem as Ricky Ricardo. I think he's too old for the part.
Sure. 100% on Bardem. He's also kind of stocky, like he's built, and Ricky Ricardo, not so much. He's kind of a smaller guy. I've been trying to picture Nicole Kidman doing Lucille Ball when she would do her wah, like that cry she used to do. And I can't picture her doing that. I'm having trouble buying into this as well.
Yeah, she's not the greatest comedic actress. That's not what she's known for, But so apparently this is going to be like a 1 week in the production of I Love Lucy. Okay. And during the production week is kind of like when they have marital issues and is the show going to end? Is their relationship going to end? And that's going to be like the focus of it is like a week in the life of the production of the show and dealing with their relationship issues. So maybe it'll be a little more dramatic than anything. So I guess, Nicole Kidman can do that for sure. We know. Sure, I just don't know if she can do the comedy bits that maybe a Lucille Ball would require. So we'll see how it turns out, I guess. But do you have anything else casting wise?
2 and 2, 2 actual castings and 2 kind of rumory things. One is August Snow. This is an ABC TV show. It's cast Keegan-Michael Key to play a private investigator drama.
Okay. I like him. He's been stepping it up recently. A couple new things, you know. I liked him in The Prom, so let's keep it going on that Key train.
Yeah, it's fun thinking of Key and Peele and like where they are now and where they started. These two dudes just did some sketch comedy that was very silly. And now look, you know, Peele with all of his horror, and then now he's done, Keegan-Michael has done, this would be drama, but he's done singing, you know, which we just had him in. So good stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of singing, Nick Jonas has been cast as Frankie Valli in Jersey Boys.
Oh, okay. They're doing a film adaptation finally.
Yeah. It's
catching. Didn't they already do one? Didn't Clint Eastwood do one?
I thought so too.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So I was a little curious. We may come back around next week and get an updated on this as well. But that was I was a little curious. Sorry, that was one of the rumor ones. So we're gonna do 1 because I was unsure. I didn't want to solidify that one. All right, this one is for sure. Misanthrope is a film now starring Shailene Woodley and Jovan Adepo. He was Watchmen. He played Hooded Justice. Yeah.
He's a local guy from Maryland.
Oh yeah. Nice. The last thing is back to the Key and Peele. Jordan Peele for his next Netflix film wants Plemons and Kahlua to be his stars.
Hey, I'll sign that off. I like both of them.
I don't see why anyone would say you can't have that. That's a yes for me.
Mm-hmm.
Both in there. All right, we're done with the casting couch. Let's do a little What's in the Glass.
And now it's time to tell everyone what's in the glass.
Guys, this is me this week. For some weird reason, I was given a bottle of bourbon. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but honestly, it just showed up on my doorstep, and I am grateful for it because, oh my God, it's delicious. Calumet is a Kentucky bourbon whiskey, 47%. I was gifted the 12-year Black Barrel version. My goodness, it goes down smooth. And I've had a hell of a week, so I've had quite a few swigs of it. Let me tell you that. Nice. Thank you, good Tony, for giving me this bourbon. I don't know why I got it, but it was your birthday. You do know that, right? It's good, man. This Calumet whiskey. I don't know where you mentioned you had heard of it from somewhere.
Well, friend of the show, Kevin Bednars, has talked it up quite a few times to me as one of his favorites, his go-tos. So that was kind of where I think I first heard about it and the high praise of it. So yeah, I was looking between a few different ones to get you, and this is kind of like long time coming. I owe you for a few things. So, you know, I didn't get you anything for like your birthday, the anniversary of our show, and you got a baby on the way. So I was like, I'm going to go big, and here you go. Covers all the bases. So there you go.
You covered a couple of birthdays. That was the $680 bottle of bourbon, folks. That's crazy. You must have got on sale. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. Thank you. I do appreciate it. It is delicious, guys. I'm even going to put a picture of it on our. We should start doing that, by the way. Put our what's in the glass.
Yeah, sure, we can. Yeah, and I'm glad you appreciate it and enjoy it, but I do want to get a taste of it at some point. So maybe just like put some in like a little water bottle and bring it to work. Wait a minute, no, edit that out.
All right, that's wrapping our what's in the glass. Now for some trailer talk.
So I was wondering what movies are coming out soon. Oh, look, a new trailer. Talking trailers with Trailer Talk.
Trailers. I think last week we skipped this altogether because it was just like nothing. And, you know, the last couple weeks, like we said last week, holidays, it's been busy. You know, they haven't been releasing a lot of news or trailers and whatnot. So this week they dumped a bunch on us. Let's start with two of the first ones that are actually like immediately coming out, which I thought was weird. Run, Hide, Fight. And this is actually releasing in theaters this weekend. I was like, what? Why am I just seeing a trailer for it now? And it's coming in theaters already. So this debuted at Venice last year, the film festival, with Thomas Jane is in here. I think Treat Williams is also in the movie. Otherwise, it's kind of some young kids, and it's a school shooting. It's a dramatization of a school shooting, but then it's also, to me, felt like Die Hard to some extent, like with a girl. Because she decides to go back in and be the hero, and it looks like in the trailer she escapes the school shooting, but then she turns around and goes back in and tries to save the day and save some people. So it looked intriguing to me, but then when I Googled it, it says it's a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that sucks.
Yeah, I'm in on the movie. I thought it was very interesting. I agree with your take, like Die Hard, but in a school shooting type deal. This scene where you see her leaving the school, and this is in the trailer, not giving away. She's leaving, she has escaped, but then she slows down, wheels are turning in her head, facial expression changes. I'm gonna go back. Here we go.
Yeah.
That right there, I was like, ugh, I don't like that part. That part.
Yeah,
that
they're
was
trying to
like,
make it heroic, you know.
yes.
But I do like having the kid actors be like kind of nobodies as well. Like nobody stood out as recognizable, which is good.
Sure.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind checking this out. The Rotten
I'm in.
Tomatoes scares me a little bit, but I wouldn't mind checking this out. I hope that there's a scene where she sits down and does like the carpet with her toes in it. That would be amazing. Maybe that's asking too much.
Hey.
All right, the other one, Lockdown, which stars Anne Hathaway and Chiwetel Ejiofor, directed by Doug Liman, and this is coming to HBO this week. Like, what? How again have we not seen this or like heard about this, and all of a sudden it's just dropping? I don't understand why they're doing this to me.
Not that Netflix hasn't changed our world enough, but maybe they've also changed some people's mindsets on like, we don't have to give you a trailer 9 months out and another trailer 7 months out and another trailer. Maybe they're just like, F it. It comes out next week and give them a quick trailer. They'll watch. Who cares?
Sure. Yeah. And I don't know, is this part of the new like HBO where they're dropping everything, you know, on the app instead of in theaters? Because I'm seeing it was originally slated for like a March release.
Right.
At least in theaters, and then they just decided to drop it here. So maybe that's why they were kind of late giving us a trailer and such. But it looks interesting to me. I don't know if I loved where it switches. Like the beginning of the trailer seems like a very heavy drama where like they're locked down together and they're having kind of marital issues or whatever. But then it almost switches to like a comedy heist. So we'll see what happens. It looks tonally weird, but I do like the people in it. Because then you also have like Stephen Merchant, Mindy Kaling, Ben Stiller, Ben Kingsley, a couple other people show up in here, probably small cameos or whatnot. It also, I gotta wonder, it looks like maybe it was partially filmed during the actual lockdown, right?
Yeah, because you got some Zoom calls. The way
some of it's done, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know. Towards the end, I was like, oh, this is the hustle that Hathaway should have made. Like, this is just like, let me get a redo on that heist style movie.
And you know what? I liked her in Ocean's 8 in like a similar role, so why not?
Sure. And if you guys like Anne Hathaway, just scroll back into your feeds because we did a spotlight on her recently, and you can hear all about the old Hather.
There you go. Yeah. So those two are the ones that were like, whoa, we're getting these, and they're also coming out this week. So that was interesting. Another one that I kind of saw buried, I don't know how I fell upon it, is called Music. Did you see the trailer for Music?
Yeah, it looked trippy.
It does. And the thing that stood out was written directed by Sia. So it almost looks like just like a long form Sia music video, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
But I like the concept here. Maddie Ziegler plays this girl who obviously has, I don't know, autism or whatnot, and is kind of like nonverbal for the most extent and just listens to music. So then you're seeing the world through her eyes, I guess, and what she's envisioning. Kate Hudson looks awful in this movie with the shaved head and all that stuff.
Head. Yeah. Woo.
Leslie Odom Jr. I am all for this Leslie Odom Jr. like train that we're running on. He's been in a bunch of projects coming up. I loved him in One Night in Miami. You know, Hamilton was big for him. So I love that he's having a great year. I'm here for it. I'm totally interested in this. I want to see this. Where is it coming though? I guess it says in theaters. It says February 12th. So I don't see any other kind of streaming release or anything like that.
Right.
It's right now. So that sucks. But I do want to see this. I think it looks cool.
Agreed.
Oh, wait a minute. Here you go. Set to be released DVD Blu-ray in March. So it'll be theatrical and then a DVD Blu-ray right after that.
Because originally I wrote down February 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says. And then it says available on digital like March. So
Groovy.
That's cool. I guess it's also based on like a children's book or part of the screenplay is from a children's book author, Dallas Clayton. So not a children's book, but he was involved in writing the script.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, man, Sia doing big things. And I guess this girl, Maddie Ziegler, you know, it said introducing in the ad for it, but she was on like Dance Moms, and then she's been in some of the Sia music videos. So I guess there's the connection.
And she did ask Kate Hudson to shave her head for the film. Like it's
wow.
Yeah.
I was super intrigued by this. So if you guys haven't seen this trailer, check it out. One thing I wasn't super intrigued by was the teaser for Cherry with Tom Holland. What did you think about this?
I thought literally the first time I watched it, I thought like my video cut out.
Yeah, right. What the hell are they doing?
That was it. It just ended. That's it. He just talks to the recruiter, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, Apple TV, done.
Yeah, it was
Like, huh?
weird, right? And it wasn't even like a strong scene that they chose to show, I don't feel like.
Sure.
Very odd, because I'm highly anticipating this movie, but I feel like what they did here with this teaser was not good.
I still don't believe. I've watched it twice. I still don't believe that was what they intended to put out. Like someone accidentally like
It was
leaked a
accidental
quick
leak.
scene,
Yeah.
or uploaded the wrong file. I'm not sure. February 26th, that one's supposed to be coming out. But I'm with you. I'm looking forward to it. From all accounts, from what I'm sure you're hearing the same, his performance is supposed to be fantastic. So.
Sure. Yeah. So these last three we're going to talk about here are all kind of late February releases, and they're trying to get in on this year's, how the Oscars were amended to include movies through February. So I think they're trying to get that last minute, push and like, hey, remember us? We're like the most recent release, and try and capitalize on that. So the other one is Malcolm and Marie, starring John David Washington and Zendaya, and this is like your black and white drama. They filmed during lockdown. I think this looks pretty good, and I'm here for the Zendaya year that she's having with the Oscar win, or the Emmy win earlier this year. Could she sneak into the Oscar noms this year? We'll see.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty well. Yeah, and the backlash from the knucklehead saying that he's 36 and she's 24 or something in real life.
Yeah,
they're actors, first of all. B,
sure.
who cares? So they're older, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It says Sam Levinson wrote the screenplay in 6 days, and then they shot it. Yeah, and then they shot it over like 2 weeks.
Wow,
so, pretty impressive. But yeah, it might sneak in there. So this is going to be theatrically released in January, and then on Netflix February 5th. So we will have a review of that after that releases. And then the last one actually just dropped last night. Hopefully you had a chance to watch it. I kind of hit you up and saying, hey, this just dropped. The U.S. versus Billie Holiday, or United States versus Billie Holiday.
I'll say it. Out of the ones we've talked about so far, I'm most looking forward to.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I'm a little bit more with the Malcolm and Marie, but
okay.
Again, this is another one that I'm glad they're throwing it out there right at the end of eligibility. It could sneak into Oscar play. Lee Daniels has already been Oscar nominated and stuff for Precious. And maybe Andra Day, the actress playing Billie Holiday, could get some Oscar love.
I'd be down. It looks really good. It looks strong. It's going to talk about all racial inequalities, probably touch on society today, all sorts of fun stuff, a little historical context. I was already intrigued because there's stuff in there. I was like, oh, really? I didn't realize all that with Billie Holiday. Okay.
Exactly. I think it's like I was saying earlier with Hattie McDaniel. It's a good story to get into that maybe people don't know the history of. So looking forward to that one for sure. So all three of those may end up being Oscar players. So some good trailers this week. Check them out. But yeah, that's it. That's all 6. Have you ever wanted to share a bit of the spotlight with Meryl Streep? Or maybe play a game where Denzel Washington is on your team? Well, this year, you can, thanks to today's sponsor, the StarDraft. As our listeners already know, Hollywood's award season is one of our favorite times, and it's almost here. StarDraft lets you be a part of that like never before.
It's a little like fantasy football meets the Golden Globes. Here's how it works. Head to thestardraft.com to create a league, to invite friends, or join a public league and make new ones. Draft a team of 10 actors and musicians. Think Olivia Colman is going to sweep every award show this winter? Draft her.
Before every nomination and awards show, set your lineup. Every time your actor or musician earns an accolade, they earn your team points. Then sit back, relax, watch the awards, and rehearse your acceptance speech. The site's top scoring teams at the end of Oscar night earns a cash prize.
It's 100% free. And because we love the StarDraft and you all so much, we've created a public league that you can join right now. All you have to do to sign up is join our Take Two League at thestardraft.com. That's www.thestardraft.com. We look forward to beating you all award season long. That's it for this segment, guys. We are all done. We're going to take a little break and then be back to wrap up the show. Superhero Secret Cinema, it drops every Saturday night. This is our fun game that we get to play where we throw some characters out there. You take the characters, they're always going to be comic book characters, figure out which actor played said character. Then once you have that group of actors, tell us the movie that all those actors started. It won't be a comic book movie, it'll be something totally off the beaten path. And once you guys figure that out, you get to win and get a shout out on the show at the very least. This week's clues were Batman, Thanos, Black Widow, and the Ancient One. Your answers were George Clooney. That's the difficult part because so many people play Batman. Thanos, only one guy played him. Josh Brolin, that's an easy one. Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson. And then Tilda Swinton with the Ancient One there from Doctor Strange. Your movie, of course, Hail Caesar.
Yeah. And that ties into our recent spotlight that we just released on George Clooney.
Go. We do our best to synergize our show as best we can. Mike, I want to get it right.
Acevedo.
We've had him before, and he answered this one accurately once again. You're the big winner. Craig also texted in the winning answer, and I saw no others.
Yeah, and I didn't either. No cats. Cats didn't come out to play. Shy didn't give us a wrong answer or anything like that. So, yeah, a little bit of a slow week for the SSC there.
Pun intended. That's well done. Check every Saturday night, guys, for the Superhero Secret Cinema. And if you need some hints, feel free to hit us up on our socials, 434-602-1931. We can give you a hint if you want. Text or leave a voicemail there. Email, take2podcast@gmail.com. And, of course, Facebook and Instagram. Follow along for all the fun. Ready for some Hollywood news?
Yeah, let's do it.
In the news.
I saw just last night posted that Danny Boyle is going to be directing a Sex Pistols limited series for FX, 6 episodes, based on the guitarist Stephen Jones's memoir. Ooh. That's cool, man. I like the Danny Boyle. Yeah. Sex Pistols are a very interesting group, so yeah. We already saw, Sid and Nancy, things like that, where we got a little bit of the story, but this could be a different look at it, so I'm interested. Cool. Ben Affleck is directing Keeper of the Lost Cities for Disney, which sounds like it's like a young adult book series that's actually like best-selling books. So that's an intriguing choice for him to go and direct that. He's never done anything like that. So,
isn't it sci-fi-ish?
Yeah, but maybe like Hunger Games-y, something in that kind of vein. So, hey, I'll check it out. I was trying to see if maybe my son would get in on the books.
I like Affleck as a director very much. So yeah,
I do too. Yeah, except for what was that one, Live by Night aside, I think he's done some solid work.
Okay, sure.
Kevin Hart signs a huge blockbuster deal with Netflix for 4 films to star and produce for his company Heartbeat Productions. If it's they didn't release monetary amounts, not that I saw anywhere, but if it's similar to the Adam Sandler deal, he did his for $150 million. So probably in that same ballpark. He already has one limited scripted series coming called True Story that he's going to be starring in as well.
Cool.
I guess be a little more dramatic, so that'll be cool. Good for him, He's done well for them with the stand-ups, and he's done well in the box office, I think, So he's just trying to maintain that level, that stardom and that moneymaker,
Boom. Good for him.
All right, we kind of teased it earlier during the poll, but there have been rumors of Hollywood delays coming. I guess, we're coming up on February. Cinderella was going to be the first kind of big release slated. Mm-hmm. So that's already being discussed as being bumped. Nothing official yet. Some of the other movies that have been talked about, Kingsman coming out in March, Cruella in May, Fast 9 in May, Bond in April, Quiet Place 2 in April, Black Widow in May, Free Guy in May, Godzilla Kong in May. The only one I've seen officially moved was Morbius. Morbius was supposed to release in March. Now they've said October. So I don't know. Did you have any others? Did you see anything else official, or was that up to date?
Those were the ones that I saw that are all still rumory. And then Bond was kind of the headliner there. Bummer, man.
Yeah, I could see them moving Bond to summer. I don't know. Disney, just drop Black Widow. Just do it. Put it on Disney Plus. That's how I feel. I feel like Wonder Woman did pretty well for HBO, so why not?
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do it at a price point. Like they do.
Well, I think they're doing that with Raya, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We will see. We'll keep you.
They might have to.
We
can talk about. They might have to just because of the shows that are coming out.
Yeah, to keep their timeline intact. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping to get my vaccine soon, so I'll be headed back to the theater once I feel comfortable. And I think that's what the articles I saw were like. Hey, we're just not at that level of vaccination that we thought everybody would be at already. So,
Gotcha.
hopefully, summer can be salvaged. We'll see. Sex and the City revival has been announced by HBO Max for 10 episodes. It was actually dropped online by the stars. They all dropped it on their Instagrams at the same time. It was titled The Next Chapter. Yeah. But then there's rumors that it will be called And Just Like That, which I think is a terrible title. I think it should just be Sex and the City Next Chapter or whatever. However, one star was not involved in the teaser drop. Kim
Not
Cattrall.
all the stars. Yeah.
Huh?
I was saying the same thing. Not all the stars dropped it.
Yeah. So Kim Cattrall was nowhere to be found. I know that she's been kind of vocally, criticizing of the company and of Sex and the City and some of the stars. So there's speculation she's not going to be involved in this revival. We will see. Maybe they'll just like kill her off in a, quick line like, "Oh, she died in an orgy off screen" or whatever.
No, Samantha. She's gone, folks.
Heart attack during an orgy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But if you're a fan of Sex and the City, it's coming back. Indiana Jones 5. Big rumors. Did you see this?
Yes.
Big rumors of Chris Pratt's involvement. Maybe as younger Indiana Jones. Woohoo. And apparently they've already planned for this Indy 5 where they want it to be like spin-off films being set up, as well as rumor of a Disney Plus series and possibly an animated series as well with Indiana Jones. So they're really trying to go big on this and revive Indiana Jones and make it a big project again. I'm here for it. I would love to see Chris Pratt take over and be, let's get some younger stories. We already had the River Phoenix young Indiana Jones, and then we have the Harrison Ford movie. So why not? You could fill in that in-between time and have Chris Pratt do some different adventures and still be Indiana. I'm here for it, man. I think it's better than giving the hat to Shia, whatever they were going to do last time.
Yeah. Well, Harrison took it back as he tried to put it on his head. Yes. So, yeah.
All right.
Wait, you're glazing over the best rumor, though.
What happened with that?
Screw Chris Pratt. John Rhys Davies. They're talking about bringing Sala back.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't see that, so that's cool.
I hope he does. I hope he comes back, especially if, put him with Harrison Ford. That'd be fun. Even if it's quick, yeah.
They should bring back Short Round, too, while they're at it, I hope.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones! Sorry, was that racist? I don't know. No. Loki producer Michael Waldron, who also wrote Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, he's going to be writing the next Star Wars movie for Kevin Feige, the one that's been announced. So this Michael Waldron, I guess, is going to be a big Disney player going forward. This will be his third project with them. Nice. So I guess that shows some promise, and they trust him enough to do this. So that's cool.
Cool. I'm in.
Paramount has acquired the rights to the Spamalot movie. This was announced a long time ago, but it's kind of fallen by the wayside, and not a lot of updates have been made on it. But now it looks like it's moving forward with Paramount. So I'm excited. It's written in songs and all that from the Monty Python guy. So it was a huge Broadway musical. So I never got a chance to see it. I would like to see it if they ever get the movie made. Did you ever see Spamalot?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it being pretty big. What's his name from American Idol ended up on there at one point. Clay Aiken was in the cast for a little bit when it was on Broadway. So.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. All right, this is a rumor as well, but apparently a new It movie is in development. They just couldn't. They've made too much money on those movies. They want to go back to the well a third time. It's going to be based on new material, and possibly this is the rumored Pennywise prequel that was talked about before. Which Bill Skarsgård said he would be willing to come back to do. So I'd be here for it, and I would hope that they would maybe get Stephen King involved in the writing of it. That would be cool. But there's definitely something you could look into there with Pennywise and his origins. I think that would be an interesting movie.
As long as King doesn't write the ending, sure, yeah.
There you go.
But that was what we said about
Michael to come in and write it. What's that?
Well, I was going to say that was kind of what we said about the second one. One of the highlights of the film for us was when they did that little flashback
Pennywise scene. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That was all I had, though. Basic news. Did you have anything else?
Barry. What's his name? I can't think of his darn name.
Bill Hader.
Thank you. I was going to say John Hader, and I knew that wasn't right. He has come out and said the seasons 3 and 4 are written. They're ready to go.
Yes, good. I love that show. Can't wait.
Let's get that thing into production, baby, because I agree with you on that. Tanya Roberts is dead.
Oh, that's sad. I thought we talked about that last week. Or no, that's right. After we recorded, they were like, she's not. And then she is, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We almost had to do a retraction episode, folks, because she wasn't, and then she was, but she is officially. Rest in peace, Tanya Roberts. Sorry that there was a mix-up. That's even the more disappointing part. Like, everyone starts to mourn the passing of a celeb, and then wait, no, don't wait, yes, do. Anyway. Jordan Peele came out in talking with all the films he's making, saying he's done with acting, and people were like, "Hey, you really fully switched over. You're done with the acting." He said, "Yeah, I never enjoyed acting." He said, "To me, it was like masturbation that you don't enjoy." Because you're just doing something, watching yourself, and it's just not fun. I was like, all right, if that's how you analogize it, interesting. But so for the folks that enjoyed his acting, it's done. He's sticking with the directing.
I'm not getting Keanu Part 2?
I don't think so.
Damn, I liked Keanu.
I'm sorry.
It was fun.
Did you see the Gotham Awards at all? Did you touch base on any of them over the weekend?
I did not, no.
Nomadland won Best Picture.
Okay, makes sense.
Riz Ahmed stole Best Actor.
Yes, nice.
Breakthrough went to Kingsley Ben Adir, or kind of
One Night in Miami. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and then Nicole Bahari for Miss Juneteenth.
Miss Juneteenth, yeah, baby.
There you go.
Nice.
There's a whole other bunch of. They gave a bunch. Those are the ones I circled, but folks check online for the rest of the Gotham Awards that they gave out. Now, one thing I did notice is that 6 out of the last 10 Best Pictures then got a nom for. In the Oscars, not win, but they at least got nominated.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't know if those are great odds.
No, they're not. And I think for me, that's where Nomadland is. I feel like it's winning all these critic awards and stuff like that, and it's going to get nominated, no problem. But I don't think it's going to be our best picture.
Ben Stiller, Andy Samberg, and then Andy Ciara, he was one of the writers on Palm Springs, are all grouping up together for an Apple TV project.
Okay.
More details unknown, but throw those 3 names together and you've piqued my interest.
Sure.
That's wrapping our Hollywood news. On to the DC discussion.
And now we discuss DC.
All right. Did you see earlier in the week the Batman rumors with Michael Keaton that were then quickly kind of squashed like a day or two later? But that was everywhere, right? You saw that?
He's our Batman.
He's gonna get like his own new series of films and all this shit, and it's like no, that's not what we meant. We were just saying that there are 2 Batmans, because he was going to be appearing in the Flash movie.
Sure.
And technically, I guess they should have said 3 Batmans because you still got Affleck coming back as Batman this year, and seeing him in new footage at least. So really, we're gonna have 3 Batmen within the next year or so. That's interesting.
That's crazy.
Let's see. Green Arrow and the Canaries not getting the series order at CW. I don't think that's a surprise. We weren't really that pressed to see where that story was going, were we?
We said this last week, and I don't think we're the only ones. I think just folks might be a little Berlanti-verse burned out.
Yeah. It's a shame, but I think it's kind of run its course.
Yeah, and it was great. It was great in its day, but I think it's...
It was. But like I said, I'm comparing it to what Marvel's doing now with Disney+. You got to step up your game. This is where you need to go. So, and I guess the CW Berlantiverse isn't quite there. It very much is TV,
Yeah. Speaking of, they're all coming back soon. Like this, I thought about this the other day. I was like, wait, aren't those shows? It's January. Remember they bumped it all to January? We should be getting them back. I know Superman and Lois isn't until Feb, but...
We will talk about that and going forward, actually.
Oops.
That's okay. The other thing I saw this week from DC was the Flash movie. Ray Fisher as Cyborg has been written out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because of, his whole controversy continues on and he kind of talks some trash.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why he got written out of there. That's speculation. We'll see what happens with his role overall. I don't think any of us were really that pressed for a Cyborg movie anyways. I wasn't. So I'd be fine never seeing any more Cyborg, to be honest.
Yeah. And to that, Cyborg has been written out. Not only Ray Fisher, but they're not even recasting the character. We don't need him in the movie. So that's fine. But also sticking with that movie, there's been rumors online that they're going to have Danny DeVito's Penguin back. Since Michael Keaton's Batman is going to be back. Nice.
I would love that, and I hope that does happen. Did you see anything else from the DC world?
Sticking with the Flashpoint rumors, did you see Jim Carrey as the Joker?
Oh, really? Wow. No, I did not see that. That would be amazing. I mean, he already basically is the Joker in real life.
Sure. I think can I see him as the Riddler, though? We're Flashpointing. If we're bringing back DeVito,
Yeah. But is that what they're trying to do? Is like he would have been a little different if we did Flashpoint, you know?
True, valid, true.
Maybe.
True.
Intriguing.
Last thing for me is that Wonder Woman 84, they have submitted the film for all the Oscars. They want to be in every category.
Not visual effects.
They did Best Picture, they did Best Director, they did Best Actress, they did Adapted Screenplay, and then they also did Ensemble Cast.
No, I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say it gets nothing. Not a 1. The only thing is, honestly, maybe it could get a visual just because there haven't been like big spectacle films out this year for the most part.
True, but I would take A Quiet Place's visuals over theirs. No, excuse me. Let me say that sentence again. I would take Invisible Man's visuals.
There you go. Okay, I was going to say Quiet Place didn't get released though, technically. Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with that. Invisible Man, 100%.
Yeah. All right, done with DC. On to the Marvel Minute.
And now, your Marvel Minute.
Marvel Minute. Moon Knight gets its directors, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, and they did a film called Synchronic. They've done a few films, but apparently this Synchronic has kind of been a big critical darling and enough to get them signed on with a big Marvel show. So now I want to find Synchronic and watch it. So stand by. Maybe we'll have a review of it coming soon. Elijah Richardson, he'd already been kind of cast in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, but never given they were kind of keeping his role under wraps as to what he was doing there. So apparently he's going to be Eli Bradley. If that name rings a bell, he is the Patriot. So they're saying this is kind of our first of the Young Avengers cast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Which also, we're going to get a little bit of that introduced in, I think, Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange, some different characters that they could then do a Young Avengers movie down the road.
Aha. Okay.
So yeah, that's interesting. And actually, I was reading up on that character. I wasn't really familiar with it. That's a pretty interesting character. Like his dad was like really the first Captain America, like that they had tested on black soldiers before Steve Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with that storyline at all, but it sounds like a very interesting comic storyline. And cool. I hope that they do it justice in this Falcon and Winter Soldier show, because I remember the one line from the trailer where he says something about that shield has a long past or whatever,
Right. Yeah.
So I hope they do really get into that. That'll be interesting.
I like it.
Rumor that Rogue, from the X-Men, will be introduced in Captain Marvel 2 as possibly a villain.
Ooh, really?
That could be cool. That could be a cool way to bring the X-Men in, right?
Very cool. I'm down.
I like hopefully Rogue. I think we'll start to hear some casting on things like that soon, I would guess,
Or not. Just shock everyone. Just all of a sudden, like, what? Cyclops, where'd you come from?
That would be nice. A couple other things real quick, just from interviews that got pulled online. Zack Snyder, I guess, was giving an interview, and he said if he were to go to Marvel and direct a movie, he would want to do Elektra Lives Again, which is a Frank Miller, Daredevil-y kind of story. So, that'd be kind of cool. Why not?
Yeah, I could actually see that. Cool.
Bring him on over. But then would it have to have Hallelujah in it again? And we'd have to have 6-hour cuts of it, and it'd have to be black and white, and then we'd have to have the different aspect ratios and all this bullshit. No, maybe I don't want it. I don't know. All right, and then last for me, Kevin Feige did an interview this week also where he was talking about some of the upcoming shows and just trying to figure out what is going to be what. So he said they're going to be between 9 or 10 episodes with 25 to 30-minute length, or 6-episode shows with 45 to 50-minute length. So WandaVision was confirmed for 9 episodes. Each of them will be 30 minutes long. Falcon and Winter Soldier is only going to be 6 episodes, which each of them being 40 to 50 minutes long. Loki will be 6 episodes, 40 to 50 minutes long. What If will be 10 episodes, 25 minutes each. She-Hulk, 10 episodes, 25 minutes each. Moon Knight, 6 episodes, 40 to 50 minutes each. So get a little clarification there, I guess. And that makes sense, depending on which project you're talking about and how dramatic they are or whatnot. I think gets the longer episodes, right?
How many old time TV guys are like rolling in their graves now? Like, what? Half hour's got to be 24-minute shows so you have time for commercials and then an hour-long episode. Just Disney Plus is like, now our shows are going to be what we want our shows to be. We don't abide by your rules.
Mm-hmm. You got anything else from Marvel, though? That was really all I saw.
Brie Larson has started working out again, trying to get in shape for that Captain Marvel 2.
Yes, good, man.
Let's see if she starts posting workout vids. Like all the guys, Superman, Rock, they all post their weight room vids. The girl should do it too.
Well, I'll tell you, we rewatched Captain Marvel the other night Not all of it, but I was able to catch most of it. I really like that movie. I'm a justified deny. I think people don't give it enough credit. I would say I'm more excited to see that movie, Captain Marvel 2, than I am to see some of these other like newer ones that they're coming out with, Shang-Chi, Eternals, whatever. Like, give me more Captain Marvel, man. I like that movie.
And you and I are hardcore Brie Larson apologists, even so much that we had a spotlight all about her way back. Scroll up on that feed a little bit, and you'll hear us rave about Brie Larson because she's amazing. You already talked about Morbius. Deadpool 3 is in the MCU.
Yeah, I saw that confirmation, and going to be R-rated as well.
Yeah. I saw that Ryan Reynolds tweeted, I just showed the producers the movies and told them that, and changed the title to Spider-Man. And so they bought it.
Nice.
And then last thing here is along the WandaVision lines, two things, you're going to talk about going forward. So I want to lead you right into that. One that's come out with its rating, TV PG. That's the equivalent of PG-13, if you will. Mm-hmm. And right now on Disney Plus, they have a series called Legends. And they're only 7 minutes, 6 or 7 minute long. And basically what it does is catches you up on them. I watched both of them. First one's on I was going to say WandaVision. First one is on Wanda. Second one is on Vision. And it just kind of gives you clips from all the movies they were in previously and just shows you the arc of their character and how they got to this point. So each one's like 6-7 minutes. I think they're going to do this for every single show, like leading into it. Oh, here you go, folks, just to catch you up on what Loki happened. So you don't have to go watch 22 films to find out.
Sure,
just watch this little 7-minute clip package. It was cool. And honestly, they're not my favorite characters. So I've always kind of like, they're part of the scene, whatever. It was good. I was glad to watch the Vision one, especially just to watch his character arc from Ultron going all the way through Endgame and how important he was, his powers and whatnot. And the same with her. So they're worth the quick 6 minutes. That's for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I might check it out. I didn't get a chance before we recorded today, but I kind of want to check it out before WandaVision. Is that a good idea? Get a little refresher. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll at the end of it, you're like, all right, I already do all that, but it'll at least kind of have you ready.
Going forward.
All right, going forward this week, I kind of mentioned it earlier. We have Run, Hide, Fight coming to theaters. I'm guessing you'll see that pretty quickly on demand and whatnot as well. But I'm not going to the theater to see it, but I am, mildly intrigued. Chris, if you're listening, I got a true crime corner coming for you next week.
Hey.
Night Stalker is dropping on Netflix this week on the 13th, so I will be checking that out and giving you a review of that next week, as well as the aforementioned WandaVision we just talked about hitting Disney Plus. We'll have our first take on that probably, because I'm guessing we're only getting one episode. We'll give a first take. Oh, 2. Okay, nice.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to write that down. Yeah, they are giving us 2 eps this weekend.
Nice. Okay, so we will have our first thoughts on that for next week's episode. So check out those shows if you want to listen along to our thoughts. One Night in Miami also hits Amazon this week on the 15th. So if you have not seen that, it is honestly, spoiler alert for our takies, but it's one of my top 3 films of the year, I'll say. So I love it. I highly reviewed it earlier, and when was that, October, that we were able to see it. So now that it's able for all of you to see it, you peons, you're able to watch it at home. Please check it out. It's such a good movie. I highly recommend it. We also talked about earlier, Lockdown coming to HBO. We'll check that out. Hopefully have a review also next week. Outside the Wire is coming to Netflix. That's the Anthony Mackie thing. We had reviewed that trailer a few weeks back. Mm-hmm. That's coming to Netflix. And then you mentioned it earlier too, kind of. CW returns with some of their shows. So Batwoman Season 2 is back on January 17th. And All American Season 3 is on January 18th. So set your DVRs accordingly.
I am intrigued to see how they change over Batwoman to the new character, what do they do? I am intrigued to see how they handle that. Sure.
All right. And then lastly, folks, I just want to give a shout out here to a friend of the show, Uncanny Nerd. And Uncanny Nerd, go give him a follow. Mike Slade, friend of the show. We've met him, hung out with him at some cons in the past, and he has had a short-lived podcast and then does like a YouTube show weekly now, and it's kind of evolved his brand into different things. Did a hell of a job with the Q&A panels and stuff at the one con we were at. So we're big fans of his. They're doing a special 24-hour stream fundraiser at the end of this month. It's going to be on YouTube and Twitch, January 29th through the 30th, 8 p.m. Each night for 24 hours, 8 p.m. on the 29th through the 30th. It's going to be benefiting the IIIB Foundation, which is a local foundation, I believe, based in Ashburn, and it was set up to help women going through breast cancer treatment. So good cause there. They're going to do just different things through the whole 24 hours, video games, live art, auctions, and then a bunch of celebrities and stuff are going to pop in. So Ming Chen will be there, another friend of the show. He's actually been on our show a couple times.
Yeah.
The creators of the X-Men animated series, Ethan Sachs, who writes some comics, Greg Grunberg, who you might know from like Lost and Star Wars. So a bunch of good names are going to be trotting out there. I think he's going to be continuing to add some guests along the way. So thank you, Mike. Hopefully all of our listeners can join and check that out on the 29th of January and give a little money to the Breast Cancer Foundation there if you can.
Very nice. The only other thing I had to watch is the Tiger Woods doc. I think you and I...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to watch part 1. It did already drop.
Right.
But we'll save our thoughts for next week, and
Yeah.
we'll knock out both of them. How about that?
Yeah, both. We should have it completely done, and we'll talk about the entire series next week. From what I'm hearing, this weekend coming up is supposed to talk about the women and that stuff.
Ooh, okay, yeah. I saw some people kind of comparing it to Last Dance or whatever, but he's not in it, doing any interviews. So, and I don't know if it goes as in depth or as, kind of. I feel like Last Dance was very myopic, like just focused on certain things. This is going to be more of a whole career thing. So I don't know if you can compare it to Last Dance, but we hope it's good, and we'll talk about it next week.
Going forward for Take Two Podcast, of course, Thursday, guys, you have the poll. Jump on to all of our socials so you can vote and share with your friends and have them vote as well on whatever our poll is for this week. Friday, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you get a brand new episode out this Friday. So look on your Patreon feeds and you'll get that. It's going to be a fun one. We hope you guys enjoy it. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, don't fret. You can still be one, and you'll still get not only this upcoming episode, but all the 30-plus episodes that we have dropped in the past for as low as $1 per month. There's a bunch of different tier levels. Check it all out, folks. You get some merchandise stuff. We get some shout-outs, all sorts of cool things to your heart's desire. That drops Friday. And then this weekend, you kind of had the weekend off from hearing our voices, so you can go back and binge the Spotlight, George Clooney, that's in your feeds. You have some other Patreon stuff that you can go back and binge and just enjoy the weekend.
Yeah. It's definitely a busy weekend ahead if you guys pay attention to the news at all. So also be kind to us if we do have to adjust our schedule a little bit accordingly. Hopefully not. We'll try and make it work for you guys and be here as we always are as that fun distraction. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. But take care of each other and don't forget to reach out to everybody, coworkers, friends, and family, and just check in on them,
Not only is our hotline open, but you can always hit us up on the side, folks, at any time through, the social medias. You can follow us through there, follow through the show. We are always available. You want just a distraction, talk movies, even talk sports, what have you. And then if you need to talk to somebody professional in any capacity, guys, 1-800-273-8255. Don't hesitate. Make the phone call. Don't wait. If you just need to talk about anything, we'd rather you do that. Okay. For our Hollywood News, TV, and Reviews show, episode 222. Have a great night, everybody.
See you.